I was watching the news, and it came to light that one of the princes of Saudi had said that, Palestinians haven't been making any peace deals with the Israelis, and that they are essentially responsible for their own oppression and their own plight. And Saudi Arabia has pretty much abandoned the Palestinian cause. Now, we know as Muslims we have a duty to stand up for the oppressed and for the marginalized, and there's a huge disconnect between this Saudi royal family and standing up for the oppressed. So can you speak on, what's going on with the Saudi royal family?
Well, it's interesting that this topic comes up, brother, because I recently, a couple of weeks ago, I picked up a recent issue of Time magazine dated April 16, 2018, and on the front cover of Time magazine, they have a picture of this guy, what is his name, the new heir or the new monarch of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman is his name, and I found the article to be interesting. I wanted to get up to date on what was going on over there. This is the new 32-year-old heir to Mohammed bin Salman, and mentions his world tour or American tour. I can't remember exactly which one it was. And when you open up the page, we see him meeting with people such as high-powered politicians and rich people such as James Mattis, Christine Lagarde of Washington, Michael Bloomberg, mayor of Washington, D.C., Bill Clinton, the crook that who him and his wife ripped off millions of dollars from the Haitians, money that was supposed to have been used to help with the earthquake and other crisis in Haiti right now. He sits down to the table and meets with this crook Clinton, amongst others such as Bill Gates, Bill Gates, who, from what I understand, has recommended population control in Africa and the third world countries. Jeff Bezos and Richard Branson, big power players in the world. But I don't see anywhere where he's reaching out to the poor and oppressed people of the earth as Prophet Muhammad would. In the same magazine article in Time magazine, they mention that the Saudis have been responsible for over 10,000 deaths of the Yemenite Muslims. This guy has also built, according to this article now, if I understand it correctly, he's built a house, multi-million-dollar home, and a multi-billion-dollar yacht. The house is built with gold, from what I'm reading in the article. And in this article, it also points out, how he is trying to establish better relations with America. I saw a picture with him visiting some big shots in England, obviously to get his marching orders. I don't have a good feeling about this, and I think that, people should be aware that the Saudi regime and the Saudi monarchy, has abandoned, as you said, the cause of not only the Palestinians, but oppressed people around the earth. Allah blessed Saudi Arabia with billions of dollars in oil wealth that should be used number one, to propagate the message of Islam, but yet over there right now, from what I'm understanding also in this article, that you have political prisoners, people are being persecuted and oppressed.
You had Donald Trump, who came to visit Saudi Arabia, and you see the royal family just hugging up on this white oppressor who has made a myriad of statements maligning Islam, this white oppressor who has said he wants to implement stop and frisk upon black people, this white oppressor who has made a variety of derogatory statements about Muslims. The Saudi royal family is kissing up on this white oppressor, Donald Trump. And it doesn't surprise me because, as you mentioned, the Saudi regime was put in place there by the British in order to implement the colonial interest of the white elites. And so they're continuing that agenda to this very day. So in response to this, what do you think black Muslims should do?
Well, brother, one of the things that we have to understand, Brother Hakeem, is birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. Trump is a racist, and racists flock together. One of the things that I've come to understand, and I've, this has been testified by, people that have visited Saudi. Saudi Arabia is plagued by racism. In fact, the whole Muslim Ummah right now is plagued by visions of white supremacy. White supremacy has infiltrated Islamic rights. I visited many mosques, during my years of Islamic study and being a Muslim, and I've experienced white supremacist attitudes from, Muslims from amongst the Arabs and the Pakistani. I've heard stories about racism, how one brother in particular was sought to marry an Arab, and his life was threatened. You see, I'll never forget an incident that I had in the mosque, outside of the mosque one day some years back, when the race of Jesus Christ was discussed, and a Egyptian Arab, a pale-skinned Egyptian Arab, got angry at the suggestion that Jesus, the prophet Isa, or Jesus Christ, was a black man. So what happened was, as Malcolm said in his autobiography, he said that wherever you find racism in the Arab world, it is because of the influence that Western contact has had with the various Muslim nations. So this is a problem that definitely needs to be addressed within the Islamic community, and there's not enough of the scholars or the imams addressing this particular issue. One guy. We can go